The Supreme Court is finally hearing the case in the battle over President Trump's move to end the Obama-era immigration program known as DACA. It protects more than 700,000 young immigrants known as Dreamers from being deported. These Dreamers were brought to the U.S. illegally as children. Under DACA, they can stay and work with a renewable 2-year permit. The decision in the High Court could be close, with the final vote possibly going to Chief Justice John Roberts. The court's ruling is expected next year. And Liz Dawn is a Christian dreamer. She is the co-founder of the group Voices of Christian Dreamers, and she joins us now to talk about today's hearing. Liz, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Liz, the court won't be issuing a decision on today's hearing until next year, so we're in for a wait. What are you hoping for?
Right. So we saw this coming as the DACA was working up the court system, and we're hoping at best case scenario, the Supreme Court will keep DACA in place, which in itself is significant, as DACA has allowed dreamers like me and others, my fellow DACA recipients, to be able to work, to be able to pursue higher education, to be able to be productive and just pursue our God-calling potential and use our gifts in a productive manner. But ultimately, regardless of how the Supreme Court rules, and this was true when DACA was implemented in the first place, that it was only meant to be a temporary solution. So our hope is that Congress ultimately will take up its responsibility and pass legislation for Dreamers and for millions of undocumented immigrants who call America home.
Liz, I want to ask you, the president tweeted today that if the Supreme Court overturns DACA, he said a deal will be made with the Democrats for Dreamers to stay. What is your take on that?
I hope the president will follow through on his word and in crossing the aisle and working with Democrats. Both parties can come to the table and work on a real solution, on a practical solution. And I think we're looking at, as Christians, we know that a sensible solution will have to be middle of the road to bring both parties to the table, something that will provide a permanent pathway for dreamers like me, for other undocumented immigrants who work hard, who contribute to this country. And the Evangelical Immigration Table has recently launched what it's called the restitution-based immigration reform that we hope will bring both sides to a conversation, to a discussion, understanding that not only are we providing a solution for individuals like me, fellow undocumented immigrants, but also how do we look to restore the rule of law.
Right. There's a lot of people out there who are looking for legal status. Your personal story is incredible because you came to this country legally and then all of a sudden you were illegal, technically a dreamer. What happened?
Right. Unfortunately, due to errors on our immigration attorney's part, I just sort of slipped through the cracks and lost my status as a 12-year-old. Even though we came, as you mentioned, with proper documentation, and lost my status without it, could not drive, could not work, and at the time couldn't go to university, even having worked hard and done well in high school. And it wasn't until after I graduated from college that Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA, was implemented. And that brought such a relief for me, for many others who were able to qualify. But again, DACA has only been able to provide a temporary reprieve for individuals who meet certain age requirements. So many who otherwise have grown up in this country, called this country home, weren't able to benefit. So we're really hoping, the impetus is really on Congress to pass a long-term, a permanent solution for individuals like me.
All right, Liz, well, I appreciate your perspective, and we're all very eager to see how the Supreme Court is going to rule on this. Thanks for your time and insights.
Thank you.